Find that line.
What y'all got going?
Man, nothing. Not a thing. Just got back from Tampa. We had flag world championships this weekend.
Yeah.
Came in second, man.
Oh, okay.
Had the game won at the end. You know what I'm saying? Just basically gave it to him at the end. Would have been world champs, man. 2-time world champs.
Yeah. Which team was this with?
This is with Harrison Shroom's team, with the team from Austin.
That's what's up.
Yeah. Tyreek Hill was out there.
See how long he lingers in Florida.
You know, he's actually an asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Just like he's really, really cocky. Like, I mean, and granted, you know, I get it. You know, he's earned it. But, you know, there were a lot of adult teams out there. Like the USA national team was out there. You know, the team that's probably going to be in the Olympics, you know, or a team that probably could be in the Olympics. And he was just talking so much trash, but like almost to getting like to blows. You know what I'm saying? Like he was just out there just running his mouth, man, charging everybody $120 for a picture. Just too much. He's just too much. He's just too much. Like Draymond Green, just too much.
Yeah.
And the little man syndrome.
Huh?
Yeah, the little man syndrome.
Yeah, probably exactly. You know what I'm saying? He's just
loudest in the room. Gotta be loudest in the air.
Yeah. But one thing they don't understand is, you know, some of these USA national adult flag teams, they would probably beat the NFL guys. You know what I'm saying? Because this is what they do. You know what I'm saying? These guys are extremely athletic, and the field is small, so it's not like you got a whole field of where somebody like Tyreek could actually get loose. You know what I'm saying? You got to know what you're doing, and you got to work your way down the field. And these cats are professionals.
I would love to see that. They got match up just so fun.
I would love to see it.
If they just came off of the sideline ready to play, I think the game would be. If you give these guys like to learn the rules.
Well, yeah,
a little bit and get some stuff like that, man. That'll be
it'd be different then. But I'm just talking about like if at the Pro Bowl, for example, if the USA professional team rolled out against the NFL, I believe they could give them a run for their money.
I agree on that. But it's interesting.
Very much so. Very much so.
Yeah. All right, we're heading to our let that segue into our thing. Welcome everybody. We finally here at the end of the day of the 2024 college football season. And I mean, it's crazy to think how fast it went by. Sean, I think you got a little bit of echo going on. But for the most part, it's been a very entertaining season. You know, we will give our recap and everything as these next week or so goes by, but and give our opinions on how the playoff has played out. But here we are with Ohio State taking on Notre Dame. Just do some X factors before we get into the prediction. I don't expect this to be a long thing. Ohio State's going into this as of right now, the evening of the game, about an hour or so from kickoff. They're still sitting locked in as a 9-point favorite. Notre Dame is a team I didn't expect to make it to this game. Surely off of just offensive inconsistency. You know, some games, you know, they skate by the skin of the team, but they're an offense that really and we talked about it a couple games ago. They do what they want to do, but they do it to perfection. They run their game plan, their scheme. Everything on offense is not going to be flashy. It's going to be 110, 115 yards worth of passing yards. Riley Leonard's gonna have 70 rushing yards, and they're gonna he gonna rush for a touchdown or two, and that's how they win football games. And they play incredibly good defense. When you look on Ohio State side, they're very explosive. So you look at the two of their playoff games, they've shown the flash in the pan where first quarter they just come out steaming, and if that happens tonight, this could be over real quick. But they've shown that, and they've also shown to have the slow game like they did versus Texas and try to eat away at a team and then win it in the second half to kind of pull away to win those kind of games. But as far as X factors or things to watch looking into this game, what do y'all think it is heading into this one?
Yeah, this one right here to me is I'm leaning heavily Ohio State in this one right here just because of how Ohio State's looked in this playoff run. And I think it's so much you kind of have to look at like NFL when you think about how this playoff run is going to do and take away the regular season play of Ohio State. Because to me, these are two different type of teams. The Ohio State that we saw in the regular season versus the Ohio State we've seen since the playoffs have started have been two totally different teams right now. And they're on a strict mission of winning the national championship. Now, to me, I'm right there with you, Van. I did not think Notre Dame had the team to get to this point. But honestly, when you think about their path getting to this point, a lot of things favorable led up to be favorable for Notre Dame. So when I think of the keys of this game for Notre Dame is they've got to figure out some type of way to be the more physical team on both sides of the ball, offense and defense. You got to bring the physicality to Ohio State to a standpoint where you kind of catch them off guard and put them on their heels early in the game. Because if Ohio State, like you said, man, comes out running in this game, comes out confident in this game, comes out in the first job on defense, get a 3 and out, first job on offense, go out there and get 3 to 7 points. It might be a long game for Notre Dame because I don't see them as a team that really knows how to get back into games. I see them try to get early leads, hold on to that lead by playing ground and pound football, make them play your type of game, and then overall you last a team or survive a team throughout a 60-minute game. This is going to be that type of game for Notre Dame if they really want to come out there victorious. But overall, matchup versus matchup, I do not see it happening. No, Ohio State is not going to be no pushover when it comes to physicality in this game. I think they had a wake-up call when it comes to physicality in that Michigan game. Since then, their dogs are woken up and ready for a physical atmosphere. So to me, Ohio State's not going to really have much trouble with Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame might be able to come out there and put a couple big-time points on the board, one or two big-time plays leading to touchdowns, maybe 20 points on the board. But to me, I see Ohio State pushing 35, 40 points in this game if they get off to a fast start, which I predict they do. To me, Notre Dame-wise, they talk about they're going to play man like they've been doing all season. The only chance Notre Dame defense has really got against this Ohio State offense is getting a bigger pass rush on Will Howard and make him uncomfortable in the pocket early, make him start seeing ghosts early, force a turnover to me early in the second half. You're going to need two kind of big momentum shifts in this game to kind of take Ohio State out of it. So to me, it's so much going on in this atmosphere right here, but to me, Ohio State, they prime time. They were preseason favorites. They did what they needed to do in the offseason to build a team that's going to be national champion worthy. And I think they're going to be able to host that trophy at the end of the night. I got Ohio State winning 38-24.
Yeah, that is pretty solid prediction there. I'm leaning Ohio State here, but I'm not ruling Notre Dame out of being able to make some noise in this game. But man, the one thing that gets me about Notre Dame is if you look at their schedule, you look at the team that they play, they have not really played a team that has the offensive firepower that Ohio State has. Notre Dame has had the luxury. They've got a good defense. I'm gonna call it. They have an above average defense. When you consider the teams that they've had to play, but they hadn't played anyone that when they hit the gas, they have to keep up with them. You know what I'm saying? If Ohio State, like you said, Drew, ends up getting off to a fast start, if Notre Dame can't contain them before, if they're trying to play man, if you go back to the Texas game, I'm sorry, the last game that Ohio State played, they bracketed number 4. They did a really good job of taking number 4 out of the equation. But what Ohio State showed you was if you do that, I still have multiple ways I can get you. You know what I'm saying? The running backs are going to be coming downhill, hot and heavy. Notre Dame's defensive line, I'm impressed. I'm impressed with their entire defense. I'm really impressed with the team. I just think Ohio State's just going to be a little too much. Would I love to see Marcus Freeman win this? I would love to see it. My night would be just fine if Notre Dame ends up winning this thing. I just don't know if they have enough. Will Howard, if he can be disrupted, if Notre Dame can get back there, they don't have to sack him. You know what I'm saying? But just make it so, get him off of his spot. You know, I've seen Will Howard have some pretty average games this season, and the rest of the team has still been able to pull them through. Notre Dame got a couple of advantages in this game. The main advantage is them being a 9 or so point underdog. how Marcus Freeman takes that and uses that rat poison as motivation to get his team to play, because they're gonna have to play for 4 complete quarters. They're gonna have to muck this game up and make it real nasty. I have not seen enough from Notre Dame's offense against the team that they played this year to tell me if they're gonna be able to win a track meet. I just don't see it. Love the coach, love their defense. Offensively, they go too long sometimes without making anything happen, and Ohio State is going to exploit that. And Ohio State's they're going to run away with this game, man. For it to be a national championship game, I just hope for Notre Dame's sake it is not a blowout, because every time they've been here, they've gotten blown out. So, I hope for Marcus Freeman's sake he can make this a game for my entertainment value, because I'm looking forward to watching this football game tonight. It's the last one of the season. I hope Notre Dame can make this football game and make everybody, proud to be a college football fan. But yeah, Ohio State, they may run up 42 points, man. 42-17, 42-20. I don't think it's going to be close. Notre Dame keeps it close in the first quarter, second quarter, maybe. But Ohio State starts running away with this thing, and I hate it, but that's my prediction. Ohio State all day.
Yeah. I'm sitting in that same boat. I got them in the 40s, 40-20, 40-17-ish type of ball game. What's interesting of this is since 2018 in that famous Bama Georgia game, there has not been a national championship game that has been close within like 16 points. No, everyone after that have been blowout after blowout after blowout after blowout. And this is leaning up to be that kind of situation. But if you're Notre Dame, I feel like you have to come in with the mindset that you did against Georgia, where you're going to be outsized, you're going to be, not the best athletes on the field, but even though you're on the smaller team, can you out-physical a team like that? And that's the same thing that happened with Georgia. Now, Georgia didn't have the offense that Ohio State does, but, you kind of put them both in the same kind of weight class when you're talking about prestige and that kind of team and what they're built like and that kind of stuff as far as national championship style team. Anything else you guys want to hit on before we buckle down and get into this game?
Kind of to me, coaching aspect. I think when you look at the coaching side of things, man, do y'all believe that this could be Ryan Day's last game as Ohio State coach if he fails to win his national championship?
No. I don't think so. I think he saved it by getting to, and we said it before the playoffs started. When he lost to Michigan, there was all the discussion about Ryan Day, about whether or not he should even stay the coach to go through the playoffs, or if they made the playoffs. But I think we all said, like, it's championship or bust for him. And I think the run that they've had, the way they've looked in these games, and the fact they made it to a championship game, I think he saved his job, to be honest. Now, what that says going into next season, I don't know. I don't know what all you lose at the end of this year. I hadn't taken a big look at their roster as far as who's seniors and stuff like that. But I think he saved it, in my opinion. I think being here, if he had lost in the first round, I think, he would have been gone. If he had lost that game in Tennessee, or if he had fell on his face in any of these games. Now, if Notre Dame comes out and embarrasses them tonight, we're at a point where you can't do nothing and you have another game like you did against Michigan, you did all of that just to have that type of game tonight, then you're right back in the pot. But I think he's done enough, in my opinion, to save his job. If he has a on par of what they've done the last 2-3 games, put that together, same performance again tonight, I think he's good, in my opinion. What about you, Sean?
Oh yeah, he definitely saved his job the way he's played in the playoffs. But like you said, I'm thinking the same thing. If he gets run out the gym, which we don't think is going to happen, but if he happens to get run out the gym, and listen, these are the situations that Ryan Day does not perform well in. This is pressure. You know what I'm saying? The first couple of playoff games, he throwing haymakers or whatever, and it's working. Haymaker work. They just blowing folks out. If Notre Dame has some kind of formula to slow them down and take control of this game and beat them convincingly, that's the key. Convincingly. If it's a close game, Ryan Day's job is still good, even if they lose. But if he gets blown out, if it's a 14-point or more victory for Notre Dame, the only thing that he's got going for him is he may be who else are they gonna get? You know what I'm saying? I mean, if nobody else is out there, you know what I'm saying? Did the athletic director start making phone calls when he lost to Michigan? These things we don't know. We know these things do happen. Every coach, every athletic director has a short list. of candidates that they would like to see run their program if the one they have is no longer employed there. I'd be curious to know what Ohio State's athletic director, or if Ohio State's athletic director has that list and who's on that list. Ohio State doesn't have time like Alabama to go and grab a young up and comer. They need someone proven, and I don't even know who that really is. So maybe the fact that there's nobody else really out there that they could get that would take the job, that may keep him safe for a minute. But if he gets blown out, the boosters and things of this nature, they're gonna start hollering and hooping or whatever, and he could be in trouble. But I don't think that's gonna happen. I think he's gonna be safe, and I think they're gonna win this game. And Ryan Day's coaching trajectory ends up, going into the Kirby Smart, Dabo Sweeney. You know what I'm saying? Where hey, I'm gonna rattle me off 2 or 3 before it's all said and done. He can do that at Ohio State, and he don't want to lose that. But it's a very pressure-packed game, and I hope he doesn't take Notre Dame lightly tonight. Because if he does, if they walk this game cocky, they could also get punched in the mouth. So we'll see. But his job is safe right now.
Yeah, I agree with both of your points on that standpoint. I think one of the biggest things about this year's playoff is how the playoff format changing to 12 instead of 4 saved so many jobs. I can maybe think of like 3 solid teams that actually are in the playoff this year that if they would have missed another year without making the playoffs, their coach would probably be on the extreme hot seat. I think of Penn State, I think of Ohio State, and I also think of aspect of Texas aspect of it, saying that, Steve Sarkisian came into Texas saying, we really got him here to prepare for the switch to the SEC. But there's another year where you miss the playoffs, it's going to be a lot of conversation starting up. And he even got NFL consideration talking about some teams that might be whispering towards the Shark ear. So I think the format changed the job perspective for him, Ryan Day, more than anything else atmosphere. Basically saying that we're really trying to change the significance of conference rivalry week and conference playoff week. Conference championship week. Those 2 weeks right there have changed more than anything in the conference football playoff atmosphere, because now we're saying that Ryan Day has an excuse now if he loses to Michigan. To where he says, well, I lost to Michigan, but my team is still, based on his regular season record outside of Michigan, his team is still always going to be in position to make the 12-team playoff. He's going to be there. I rarely would see a year where Ryan Day would lose 3 games going into the playoffs. If your third loss is in the playoffs, that's a different story. But if you're going in there like how Bama was, Ole Miss, those type of teams that have 3 losses already trying to get in there, that means as a Big Ten team being Ohio State, you've had a terrible season, not just losing to Michigan type of season. So I think that's one of the biggest things that kind of reset him and say, okay, you know what? Me losing to Michigan is the worst thing possible for my season, but now I get a revival with still being able to sneak into the playoffs and saying, reset my team's focus and say, you know what, hey, we had a bye week with our conference championship because we didn't make that. Now we go into this playoff race fully healthy, fully ready to roll, fully amped up to get this job done, which saves people's jobs in the long run. Because Penn State, James Franklin, I've been wanting him to get fired for the past 3 to 4 seasons rather than him making it this point this season and saying, oh, he might have extended his career a couple more seasons. So, it's going to be really, really interesting watching teams that really get to this position and say, you know what? Getting to the playoffs might be a new standard for our team to where now coaches do not get fired because you've been a consistent playoff caliber team. 2 totally different points. I feel like the format is changing. And I think still my standpoint, if we go to 16, it's going to be too much.
Yeah.
And one more thing about that too. When you think about the young and up and coming coaches, well, one thing the playoff has done, is giving these coaches an opportunity to show what they can do. You know what I'm saying? Even though let's take Boise for example. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knew that they weren't going to have an opportunity to make it to the championship game. You know what I'm saying? Maybe folks in Boise thought it was possible, but everybody else around knew that was not going to happen. But their coach got a lot of cred. Is getting a lot of pub because he got him there. You know what I'm saying? Arizona State's coach. You know what I'm saying? Illinois' coach. You know what I'm saying? I'm hearing more talk about these coaches because they're extending their seasons and they're playing more and they're on TV a little more than they normally are in the regular season. So it's good in that aspect. You know what I'm saying? But like you said, Drew, yes, you go to 16, you're really watering this thing down. All they really got to do is fix the seating, get rid of the buys, get your 12, feed them once you get them, and let's go. But even with that being said, you're still gonna have a group of 5 team in there. I think Boise's probably got an opportunity to be there, every year and become a real household name in regards to the college football playoff. And that may help a team like Boise end up making it to, get to a bigger conference. You know what I'm saying? Making it into the Big 12, or you know what I'm saying. Some of these smaller teams get the opportunity to make generated for their school. So, it's been good. There's been some positive, there's been some negative, but right now, today, what I'm looking forward to is watching this football game. So, man, let's let the chips fall where they may.
Oh yeah.
Yep, I'm definitely with you there. Well, hey, appreciate everybody who's been along with us on this ride for this entire football season. We'll be back next season, but in the meantime, tune in. I think we're gonna pick up on some college basketball action. We got the draft coming up, combine season. Super Bowl coming up here in a couple weeks. So we got a lot more content. We definitely will be back with y'all. We're gonna tailor a little bit differently, but we'll see where we go from there. But until then, we'll see y'all, and we'll see how this game turns out tonight.